I used to say to my players when I was a coach, if you're not interested in the premiership being the aim, well, go and play tiddlywinks. But don't come here and waste our time.
I don't know why you're looking at me like that, mate. You're number one just about. If our friends weren't here, you'd drop right out. In a furor of excitement, and kept bouncing and bouncing and bouncing, and it went through.
Oh, just let go, you're guilty.
Sit down, shut up, and pay attention.
Turning.
Yep.
And thanks, Pete.
Action, guys. You can wander in.
Do you want me to sit in the corner, more relaxed?
Just lie down, Howard.
Thanks, Pete.
Hello, Howard.
Hello, Tone. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Good to be here.
Good to see you.
Lovely to be here.
And Marketplace.
Take one. Gentlemen, lovely to have you here.
Thank you.
Been a long
Peter.
time coming.
It has been.
First of all, though, Tony, can you introduce yourself and explain your role here at Carlton and why this 70 Grand Final story is so important?
My name is Tony DeBolfo. I'm the Carlton Football Club historian. When I think back to the games that I was privileged to see, the one that stands head and shoulders above all of them is the 1970 Grand Final, a story that should have been told probably a long, long time ago.
My name's Howard Cotton, and it was, in my view, the greatest sporting event that I've been to. I was fortunate enough as an 11-year-old to be there. To know yourself, you have to know your history. And that's why this project is so important.
John Nichols has been considered Carlton's greatest ever footballer, and he himself has said we're merely passing the baton.
Hey, Perth. Good to see you, brother. How are you? Sid, mate. Look at you.
I think it's important that the younger players understand that they're only here for a finite time. And from the past players' perspective, it gives them a tremendous sense of belonging. The current players show them the respect that they have earned from what they've achieved in their playing careers years before.
Brownlow medalist.
Next to you, big fella.
Yeah, you do.
Reckon you'd hit a few down to me.
Eh?
Up on a platter for me. What do you reckon?
Yeah, good. Sammy White, Christ.
Bit overawed here, Patrick. Nah, mate, I'm overawed with you guys. Hey? Keen to watch this.
Foxy's going to say something, isn't he? We'll get this started. While you're all catching up, we are here to obviously watch the. Come on, Sid, pay attention. Let's go. Come on. I'll start carrying on like Barras in a second if I can't get your attention. So just be careful. We stand on your shoulders. You know, what you stood for as a football team are traits that we are always trying to emulate. And I guess for us, we're trying to put our own version of what that looks like, you know, with our team and what our aspirations and ambitions are. So welcome along and we'll get stuck into it.
These are walks that thousands have walked before. They lead to the Melbourne Cricket Ground. The attraction is the Grand Final, the great moment of decision following a hectic season of hurly-burly and ups and downs. The 1970 Grand Final, unknown at this hour, is destined to write itself into Australian rules history as one of the most remarkable contests of all time. A record crowd of over 121,000 have come from every point of the compass to see Carlton tackle the favourites, Collingwood.
In 1970, the population of the metropolitan area of Melbourne was 2.5 million, which meant that 1/20th of Melbourne was at the football ground.
I still remember it very clearly. My mother and I caught the train in from Kooyong Station into Richmond Station. Beautiful day, a very sunny day, warm spring day. and we sat behind the goals at the punt road end in the old Southern Stand, and it was one of the most memorable experiences of my life. Certainly, I think it's the greatest event that I've been to at the MCG. Lived with me for all of my life.
Radio 3 KZ. First with sporting news.
This is 3KZ welcoming you to Grand Final Day at the MCG. Collingwood, odds on to take the flag. Carlton, again the underdog.
We had a really good side. We'd had a great year. We'd beaten Carlton easily during the year.
We had a poor year. Not just against Collingwood, we struggled in lots of games. So the fact that Collingwood beat us 3 times was no surprise. It was just the way we're going overall.
I remember with Nick, he used to come up to us and say, we're playing Collingwood. We've got to beat Collingwood. They are the pits.
You've got to beat them because they're cockers. If they beat you, they've bloody got a certain amount of arrogance about them, you know?
When you first came to the club, they said that if you beat Collingwood, it's nearly as good as winning a grand final. Collingwood, they were reasonably nasty folks to us. And so were their supporters. Like when you were running down the race there, not unusual to be hit by stones and bodily fluids and other things being thrown at you, and it was quite unpleasant.
What does it feel like sitting here in the old enemy's headquarters?
Not very comfortable, really. See a Carlton jumper, you start to get a little bit excited. You know, you want to attack him again. Last time I played here, I got hit over the head with an umbrella. I was walking across the ground. This lady come from behind me. He said, "You're no good, Tottenham." You know, and bang, and hit me over the head with an umbrella.
We always look on Carlton as the blue bloods, you know, all the businessmen, the printers of this world, you know, with big printing businesses, with a contract with Carlton United Brewery. Am I right there? Yeah, so I'm pretty switched on there.
We used to be called the Chardonnay set that used to be bandied around.
Collingwood might be down the road, the old ground might be down the road, Lurley Street, but it may as well be planet Neptune. I mean, you probably couldn't find 2 more diametrically opposed entities.
The game has built its heroes, and Carlton coach Ron Barassi is one. As a player, Alex Jesselenko is brilliant, and Carlton need him and successful men about town John Gould to really fire.
Match day, grand final day, there's 121,000 people there. It was electric. All you do is have your own thoughts, you know, hoping you play well.
The hairs on the back of your neck stood on end as you hear a bit of a roar of the crowd from the reserves game, and you think, geez, this is fantastic.
I was trying to tone myself down because the easiest thing is that you overplay the game to a degree. You get too nervous and you play the game before you get out onto the ground.
Collingwood are rightly the favourites. They have won their last 9 games and beaten their opponents 3 times this year already. Bob Rose, an extremely popular coach, knows, however, particularly after the second semi-final clash between these sides, that in no way can he dismiss Carlton too cheaply. He also knows, and these players of his, that it is 12 years now since Collingwood won a premiership, and they've been beaten in their last 3 grand final appearances.
This was my last chance to win a premiership at Collingwood. You know, we played in 2 losing ones. You don't want to get beaten again in the 3rd one.
You had an interesting week. Your dad died. You had a funeral. Was it on the Friday, Twiggy?
Yeah, the day before the game, yeah.
Did the team go to that?
Yeah, well, a lot of the players did. Yeah, a lot of the players did, and it was great of them to come.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a pretty hard grind to carry, you know, going into a grand final. Mm. I was more worried about whether they were worried about me, I suppose. Yeah. I know my father would have wanted me to play 100%, so.
Strangely enough, my dad said to me before the game, Pete, I hope you play well. I really do. He's one-eyed Carlton supporter, my father. He said, I hope you play well, but I can't say I hope you win. But there's your father virtually saying, I don't want you to win.
Don Jolly is the central umpire. His first grand final. He's 35 years of age. Maybe a little bit old, some people might say, but he's a pretty smart operator, I can tell you that.
Watch this. Times are changing. Even the umpire gets a big occasion welcome. So who said the lot of the umpire is not a happy one?
Ron Barassi on the verge of completing his second 3-year term with Carlton. Few relish a challenge more than Barassi.
The sideburns were in trend, weren't they? Everyone had the long sideburns. This is the biggest trend, wasn't it? I couldn't even go so late.
And here comes Collingwood captain by Terry Waters, a 1969 All-Australian player. Giant centre half forward Len Thompson, one of several of the Magpies' big men, is in the team, following recovery from a leg infection which restricted his training for today's clash. John Nichols leads Carlton. Along with first ruck partner Sergio Silvani, Nichols is playing in a VFL Grand Final for the 4th time.
It gets the blood going still.
Yes. Love it.
Amazing, isn't it? Yes.
Conditions are perfect and the surface fast. Nichols wins the toss and elects to kick to the front road end, which is favoured by a slight breeze.
Can't believe the size of Big Nick. Monster, eh?
The 1970 Grand Final, Carlton versus Collingwood from the MCG in Melbourne. The umpire, Don Jolly, bouncing the ball. Nichols of Carlton won the toss, and Carlton will be kicking with the breeze to the Richmond end. The first free kick of the match going to Collingwood.
First free kick is to Graham Jenkins. The Magpies attack. Forward at all costs. Here's hope. Wayne Richardson, vice-captain and one of the best. The first shot for goal coming up, and look at the goal umpire's perfect position. Dunn took the mark behind the line. It's only a point, but first blood and a good psychological lift to the Collingwood side.
There we go. Thompson in the middle of that packet. Comes down to Max Richardson. He gets a hurried hand pass out here towards Tuddenham. Tuddenham in a bit of trouble. Oh! Was almost unloaded. He kicks. He's put it through. The first goal of the match from the boot of the former captain, Des Tuddenham.
Waters, all over the field, starts the move which draws a crescendo from the crowd. Full forward, Peter McKenna, an idol to thousands, accepts a hotly contested mark. Already, he has broken a club goal-kicking record of 40 years standing. His goal tally thus far in a season of spectacular play by full forwards is 137.
There was always pressure to kick goals because the more goals you kick, the more expectation. There was exciting times because when you're kicking goals for Collingwood, you get made a lot of fuss of.
This was also the year that Jesaulenko kicked the ton for Carlton, that final home and away round of 1970.
I kicked the ball to him. It was from here to you to me because the umpire told me to get it out of the road. They'd already run on about 5 times. And then Ray Sleeth, the umpire, saying, "Kick it to him." I said, "I'm going to kick a goal." He said, "Kick it to him."
It cost you a goal in your career.
It cost me a goal.
And of course, you had Peter Hudson at Hawthorn that also kicked the ton that year.
Which is incredible.
Incredible. So you had the 3 full forwards all getting to the 3 figures. Jesaulenko's 100th goal was the first time before or since that a Carlton player has achieved that milestone.
Breathless now, the fans wait for number 138, and maybe it will be the successful start of the final assault on Bob Pratt's unbeatable aggregate of 150 goals. Well, next time then.
Peter's got to get 13. I think so.
Not Canada.
Huh?
Not Canada.
No. On the counter today.
Not on your, the goal-kicking finishes at the last time on game.
No, I didn't think so.
Hall and McKenna are having a torrid battle. Anxious to seize any opportunity, the Magpies again threaten the Blues' goal. But neither Britt or Tuddenham is able to gather, and with Crosswell in defence, the ball rolls out of bounds. Cleverly positioning himself, McKenna beats Hall.
Wes Lofts had been the mainstay fullback for a long time. Barassi felt that Kevin Hall was the man that could go with McKenna. So he made a conscious decision and an incredibly brave decision to go with Kevin Hall.
Wes wasn't quick. This guy's 6'4" and seriously quick. I'd never played fullback, ever. Played in the back line, but never fullback. Never on this fella. Nightmare.
The mark is paid, and Collingwood's record-breaking goal kicker is right on target for his first of the match and his 138th of the season.
You win the Coleman with half of that now, I reckon.
I'll tell you fellas something now. Collingwood are playing as if they know the premiership's theirs. They feel it.
Well, Mike, it's still only very early in the match.
Sparking off another Collingwood attack, Thompson and Max Richardson combine to give McKenna a chance. Unable to break away from Hall, McKenna handballs to Britt, who snaps Collingwood's 3rd goal.
warm spring day and the ball were just going like a rocket and I was nowhere near it. I couldn't get anywhere near it. I was trying to get near it, but I had left me behind.
They were dominating, and I can remember thinking, gee, it was hard to get a kick. The ball was moving that quickly.
Just keep going, you know, we were going all right. It certainly didn't feel like we had them covered at all. We just had to keep doing what we were doing.
Come on, Twig! Come on, mate!
The slim man is Twiggy Dunn. Only one teammate will earn more kicks than him today, and here he comes. Scouting well, Wayne Richardson, who gets more kicks than anyone on the field, shows a familiar tactic. The blood is thicker than water, and his brother has the knack of being in the right place at the right time.
Max Richardson now kicking up to the scoreboard and goal. It looks pretty healthy from here, but it's offline. And 1 point results.
There's got to be a breeze across that.
Right, I was just about to say that, Alan. There must be a breeze blowing from the outer side of the ground across the goal face there.
No doubt. 3-8 to 3 points.
Collingwood still doing it very easy.
Now, which is the scoring end?
I would say the scoreboard end, mate.
Right, well, Nichols won the toss and kicked to the other end. Carlton giving Collingwood the advantage in the first quarter, but let's see. McKenna has marked.
Beautiful left foot pass.
What a player.
Can't pass the ball at all, can he?
Oh, what a beautiful footballer Richardson is.
Mate just kept hitting him on the chest. Every time I turned around when he had a shot for goal, he split the goals every time. And I think, how can the bloke kick the ball so accurately so often?
The siren sounds to end the first quarter of the Carlton Collingwood 1970 Grand Final.
With the scoreboard at quarter-time reading, Collingwood 4-8-32, Carlton 3 behind.
Is this the game where Jesselenko took the famous mark?
Yeah. Yes, rather disappointing from the crowd's point of view because they expected such a titanic struggle. But Collingwood, fresh and energetic, enterprising, strong, vigorous, taking all the big marks, are leading Carlton a merry dance.
A few diaries.
A dart. Have a dart. You boys would have had that at half-time, surely. Good blokes used to have them even at quarter-time. The trainers would bring out a fag. Yeah, right.
Coach Barassi is humiliated and dresses them down as only he can.
What's he saying there? He's spraying. Looks like he's spraying this. Looks like you're all paying attention, though.
What is it? I don't think we were listening at this stage.
50 yards away, does Bob Rose dare to think that after all these years, this is it? He has lost 2 grand finals in recent times by slim margins. Now his side is well on its way to erasing those painful memories.
A lot of feeling between these clubs because of certain things that have happened off the field.
Perfect weather, record crowd, 1 down and 3 to go. The second quarter opens and Carlton, at least getting more of the play, are sorting out their shortcomings, and Jackson's appearance is no mean tonic. The speedy half-forward flanker who escaped disqualification when the tribunal had him up on a charge after the sides last met 2 weeks ago.
Sid Jackson had beaten a suspension at tribunal for striking Collingwood's Lee Adamson in the second semi.
That became a sort of a talking point for a while amongst everybody, and we ended up with the tribunal, and we both had to get off our charges somehow, so we had to make up some stories.
Sid gets advice from the President, George Harris: plead not guilty under provocation. Tell the tribunal you were racially abused by Lee Adamson, which he was not.
I mean, this wasn't Sid's idea, what happened. And it was put to him, do you want to play in the grand final against Collingwood? And what's he going to say? He's going to say yes.
Well, we had to say that he called me something that he didn't against McCullough, and it wasn't my idea, actually. I was told that we could use this, and maybe that was the only chance because 3 umpires had reported me. You know, I had no chance of getting off but to make up the story.
Sid went in, said he was racially vilified, and the charge was thrown out. Now, that was fine for Sid. Sid played in that game, but this was a stigma that Lee Adamson had to carry with him in all those years since.
And he was upset by it because, you know, being called a racist, that's outrageous.
Hello, I'm Michael Williamson. At this present moment, we're sitting in the George Harris stand at the Carlton Football Ground. One can honestly say that George Harris has been the most successful president in the history of the Carlton Football Club. George, you weren't interested in being popular, were you?
No, I wasn't there to win a popularity contest. If I believed something was worthwhile achieving, then I wasn't terribly interested in people's feelings or how it was achieved.
Well, I didn't like it at the time, but and particularly a fellow like Lee, because he was a pretty fair player. We played it tough together, and we knew we were playing with each other, and that's the way we played it.
Just recently, Sid and Lee Adamson met. Sid apologised, the apology was accepted, and both players moved on. Subsequently, senior leaders of the club also met with Lee to acknowledge the errors of the past which aren't reflective of the club's values today.
I think Lee Adamson forgave Sid, but I don't know if he forgave George Harris. That's the case.
In goes Big Jones, hits out nicely, but Adamson came through, tackled by Jackson.
Whoa!
And could have been a free kick, 2 free kicks there. But Gallagher will get here.
Gallagher 20 yards out on only a very slight angle. Put it through. There's Carlton's first goal, 2 minutes into the second quarter. Now we're getting into business. There they go. Nichols in the ruck there with Jenkins. Silvani goes up, taps it down, but it's taken by Dean of Collingwood. Dean a long one down forward. There's McKenna. McKenna's marked.
Oh, great play. He fooled Hall then.
It's on its way, and he's taught them a lesson here. Right through the centre. That's his third.
I noticed a trainer out to Thompson then, Michael, who doesn't look as fit as he should be to me.
Look, now don't talk rubbish. I've had a good look at Thompson. I've spoken to him before the game. He was rubbed down with the wrong sort of liniment, and he's got pimples and that on one thigh, and you know how aggravating that can be.
You gotta love the commentary, don't you? The commentary. You gotta love the commentary.
To attack now. Greening comes through there. He's unloaded by Barry Gill. Big John picks up his grab by Tuddenham. Oh, and Tuddenham and Big John.
And a little bit of jostling going on.
Tuddy was very hard at it, and he would try and line up players if he could.
Going in there,
Look at Tuddenham trying to get Gilby in. John Gill with his long hair.
That could have been a very nasty incident, Mike.
Oh, things starting to liven up here now.
This is what the public want to see.
You look back to Williamson, Gale and Whitten, they called it as they felt it.
Adamson was all over him like a mustard plaster then. Whoa, and away they go.
There are lots of parts of that commentary where it's just outrageous.
They threw a lot of fun into it, you know.
We know Mike was Mayor Carlton. They're good guys, but all hated Collingwood.
Yeah.
So whatever, you know, underneath it all, they'd call it fairly, but unfairly.
The risky one.
I think it was wise to have let it go.
I'm not saying it was a throw. I merely said it could have been.
Could easily have been.
It could have been interpreted.
Well, that's exactly right.
All right, am I correct now?
That's right. Well,
Thank
we've
you.
sorted that one out.
Oh, they were great days. I think commentary was better years ago anyway, I really do.
He's on an angle. He's kicking from the member stand flank.
Look at the streamers.
And those darn streamers, why they don't get rid of them? Oh, yes. And some fools are throwing them out while he's trying to kick. Britt now. It's on its way, but I think the streamers really put him off.
Ridiculous situation where fools can interfere with a premiership match.
Well, I can't see with a big organisation like the Melbourne Cricket Club why they haven't got somebody with a right to get them off.
3.5 million people have been drawn to the matches during the 6-month season, and the consensus of opinion is that Carlton have had it. The belief is given added strength by Twiggy Dunn, who wheels in from the pocket to trap Clifton's kick and boot through a screamer. Now Collingwood are 6.5 goals ahead. The old hands will tell you that Collingwood ahead go on with it and grind you to pulp. It's a cakewalk, and McKenna adds insult to injury with his freak kick for his 4th goal. 7.5 goals ahead, and it's not even half-time.
No way known that Carlton can get back into this game.
Oh, that's a bit pessimistic, though.
Oh, you can see the way they're playing. I don't think Carlton will give up, but I don't think they can get into the game.
Robert Walls marks and recoils after the late arrival of Jeff Clifton. And Collingwood, in benevolent mood after their superior play, advise him as to which way he is kicking. If Carlton don't even know that, how can they possibly win? But Robert, you see, is a pretty smooth cat, and despite his lapse of memory, is going to kick the Blues' 2nd goal. But the game is still a yawn.
Nichols controls play for the Blues. The persistent Crosswell takes the ball goalwards and cleverly passes to Gallagher, who scores full points. Collingwood come back through Max Richardson, whose pass finds brother Wayne. From the outer flank, Wayne Richardson's shot is high, straight and true for a magnificent 50-yard goal.
He gets knocked out soon, doesn't he? McKenna gets knocked out soon.
Well, Eakins has the ball in the back pocket now. Goes for the big kick around the centre wing position. Players are there, Nichols and Jenkin. The ball comes to the ground. It's punched by Richardson. Picked up here now by Barry Price. Looking for McKenna. McKenna and Hall. McKenna from behind. Tuddenham's there. He misses it. Comes to the ground. Barry Gill goes to the ground once.
McKenna's down.
Has a kick at the centre of the ground. It's Dean who misses a flight of the ball. And umpire Jolly has pulled the game up.
And McKenna's down behind play there.
He received a nasty one there, Mike.
And McKenna looks in real trouble with 3 trainers out there attending to him.
He received a nasty one, Butch.
Friendly fire?
Friendly fire. Tuddy went for a mark at the same time I did. I know he hit me with his hip, so I cannot remember half-time.
It's an accident, you know, like, I really didn't realise Twiggy, that he had concussion, you know, and then till later on.
I've never let him forget it, that he caused havoc for me in that second half.
Gill goes up from behind. Mackay gets a trip too.
Yes, Mackay's free kick.
University student David Mackay has had a really good season for Carlton. He excellently, but wins this kick for a trip.
I'd been tripped, went back and let go of a torpedo because it was on the wing there, and I kicked the ball along and just saw him rise.
Mackay to the wing position on the member stand side. Oh, Jesaulenko, you beauty! Alex Jesaulenko, bringing oxygen.
And I saw Alex and I heard a great oof from Jerk. he got a good one right in the back and he knocked all the wind out of him.
Taking their mark, a lot of people have said that changed the game. Well, I didn't even know I took it. I couldn't recall taking that mark. As the years have gone on, I get higher and higher and higher. It gets better and better.
Jez's classic comment he's gone one time when they asked him, what was your mark like? He said, oh, look, I used to take about 3 of them before we started training. I mean, I don't know why the people really got carried away with it.
The commentary too was a great mark, and the Jesaulenko, you beauty.
Oh, Jesaulenko, you beauty!
Gone down through time, hasn't it?
A lot of migrant people that I've spoken to believe that when Jesaulenko took that mark, that was the moment for them that the migrant had arrived. In other words, the migrant had been accepted as part of society. For them, that mark was symbolic. They all felt, yes, we're part of... We belong. We're part of this society. Because here's a fellow born in Salzburg to a Russian mother and a Ukrainian father that comes to Australia and beats the Aussies at their own game.
At the throw-in, Big John is still grumpy, and when 2 16-stoners confront each other, feathers are bound to fly. The margin between the sides is 43 points, a world of difference, and many goals are required urgently by Carlton to win their way back into contention. A push in the back gives Silvani the chance to close the gap by 6 points, which would at least provide some consolation.
Silvani, 40 yards out, puts it on its way. It's his big ambition to kick a goal. He's done it. He's done it.
Look at Tuddenham on his own.
Oh, criminal offence.
Not a bad player to leave alone, is he?
Oh, you kidding.
Wouldn't Barassi be tearing his hair out, but he puts this on its way.
Real pressure goal there.
I've got to tell you this, is Tuddenham, we've got the cameras on him now. I was talking to him this morning, or talking to his wife rather, and she told me that he played the whole grand final in his sleep last night, and I said to him, how did you go? He said, in my sleep, I kicked 6 goals, 1. Pulled up well. Collingwood, they've put a deposit on that flag.
The moment the siren blew, of course, Bobby Rose took off like the proverbial Bondi tram, but he's got every reason to feel very gratified by a wonderful performance.
Been a bit of an upheaval a bit at half-time. Frank Galbelli coming in the rooms started yelling out, we got him, we got him.
Oh, yeah, no, they're quieting him down.
And the coach said, get him out, get him out.
And of course, then at half-time, there was champagne flowing amongst the Collingwood faithful. What sort of champagne were the Collingwood supporters drinking at 1970? I don't know. Maybe it was Blue. No, I'm not sure.
Carlton undoubtedly given a real tongue-banging by Coach Ron Barassi, and the game is not over yet.
The whole thing was at half-time, we all felt embarrassed. we're all wondering what's going to happen.
I walked up the race and I thought, oh, we're making a fool of ourselves here, and 120,000 people. Christ, what a time to make a fool of it, you know. And I went in and I thought, oh, I'm hiding from breath. I'm keeping away from breath. I had my head down. So we all hid.
He always goes at the blokes that walk in front, you know, like the first in. They're going to cop it. So what do? I sneak off to the toilet. You know, it's a smart move. So I waited, you know, did that for about 10 minutes and then wandered back in. And, well, he got it all out of his system.
His attitude was calmness. He had to try and alter our thoughts, which is not easy. There's 18 blokes come off the ground that are all dragging our heels on the ground, so he's got to be positive.
I went down to the rooms at half-time, trying to show a brave face, and but inside feeling, God, what are we going to do? And Kevin Hall came over to me and put his arm around my shoulder and said, never mind, Prez, we're going to win this. Don't worry about it. We're going to win it.
Did you believe that?
I didn't really believe it, but I was cheered by it.
One of the questions I had asked of our statisticians at half-time, how many handballs we'd had, and the answer came 13. So I asked the players, have a guess how many handballs we've had? But I can remember replying, a lousy, stinking, rotten 13.
Barras was amazing. Handball, handball, handball. I don't care where you are on the ground. Handball.
Bring it onto the ground. Don't have it here in theory or words from my mouth. Take it out there and let's win this match.
And he said, you know, we can win this and all this. And we're saying, shit, you know,
There was a key message that struck home to me of Barras at half-time. If you get thrashed by Collingwood, you will never forget it for the rest of your life. Gee, he's right, you know, so it brought us back to reality.
It was a very interesting half-time interval, I must admit. I wanted to have Bert Thornley, our rover, off the field after half-time, but in those days of no interchange, the selectors convinced me that was a bit dangerous, a bit risky, and that was true. But as the players were milling around, I really had this very strong hunch, so to speak, that we had to make this change.
So we were going down the race and Bert Thornley was in front of me, and then I felt this arm reach over my shoulder and Barras has grabbed Thornley by the jumper and just said, Bert, come back here.
Faced with a 44-point deficit, Carlton coach Barassi has evidently worked a psychological miracle on the team of outclassed warriors.
There's Teddy Hopkins, a 19th man for Carlton. Can Hopkins bring Carlton back into this 1970 Grand Final?
And there's the Carlton's brain trust there, the selection committee.
Barras was the first one who sat up in the stand.
Yeah, right.
This is the first time ever.
Yeah, right.
Barassi sat up the top deck of the old smoke stand, the MCG, because he viewed the game as a chessboard from an elevated position, whereas his seat Bob Rose sitting on the interchange bench. So I think Barassi had the edge over Rose in that respect.
Well, Jenkins, the Collingwood ruckman's in there, step to the ground. Gould picks it up number 11, one-handed, flashy football, but it's a big kick down to the half-forward line, looking for Jesselenko, but it's Croswell at his mark. Croswell plays on, gives the ball to Walls. Walls has a long shot for goal. Jones is there, down to Teddy Hopkins, the 19th man. He's stopped for goal,
And I'm in front, this is mine. And I dropped it, and Hopkins ran in and kicked the goal. I said, oh, well, I could see written that was mine. Same thing's happened again. The ball's out in front of me, this is mine. Bang.
Carlton are playing on at every opportunity. Gould drives down Jesselenko. Jesselenko's dropped it, but he butters up a left foot snap.
Yeah, Perce, catch this one. Oh, he dropped it again. Oh, God.
He just setting the boys up first. Creating a contest.
3.5 minutes into the third quarter, and Hopkins has kicked 2 goals within a minute.
Carlton are playing to instruction from Barassi to play on with their handball to open up the game.
Sid gets this, I think. Kicks a goal. Have a look at this.
Sid, stop. Wow.
That is class.
And Sid kicked a goal, and he got that. I said, shit, we're a chance here.
Number 7 in the centre of the ground. Goes for the punt kick, torpedo punt, looking for Jesselenko. Clifton's from behind, punches the ball. Heatkins comes through, misses the ball, and Croswell. Umpire Jolly said it was too high, and will take the free kick.
Boy, are they coming back. Don't tell me another one's going to slip away from the Maggies.
He comes in with the drop punt, lines it up. It looks pretty good in transit, and it's right through the middle. There's another one to Carlton.
Carlton have kicked 4 goals in 7 minutes.
It was the most electric 10 to 11 minutes, I think, of sport that I've seen at that venue. I still believe that.
Oh, but it's It's a wild one and on the balls again. Balls, a quick hand pass to Hopkins. Hopkins in a bit of trouble, but he shoots. He's put it through. That's his third.
Senior unloaded there. There's a kick in the woods, centre half forward. They're going to rubber balls as mark. Great play by Carlton. He steps around Potter, races into an open goal. A long shot.
There's another one.
Would you credit this?
Oh, good night, Irene.
It's down, Hopkins has it. He tries to scramble the ball. Jezerinko shoots.
Oh, look at this.
There's another one. Complete reversal of form by Carlton.
Carlton have kicked 7 goals in 10.5 minutes.
The crowd have got off their head, and so have the commentators.
You know, Doug, you must be eating those words of yours.
How could it possibly have happened? The ground in a furor of excitement.
The crowd sensed that something was happening. They started to chant Carlton, Carlton, Carlton. I'm not sure about the other players, but to me, you started to run a foot off the ground.
They look a little worried, Collingwood.
Yes.
They got a bit of a smell of that, you know, we can get back into this game. They were all playing on for sure.
That was a brave move by the coach. You wouldn't see in any other game throughout the year. We weren't allowed to handball on the back line, ever.
Really?
Yeah.
That's right.
Waters from the half-forward line, looking for the long one into the square. Thompson goes in and marks. That was a well-placed kick and good football by Waters. True captain's game. 25 yards out now, Thompson dead in front. He won't want to mess this one up.
Thompson kicks. Put it through.
10-point lead for Collingwood.
What are you, Kevin? Big kick, Gill.
Barry Gill, the half-back flanker for Carlton, kicks up now. Nichols is there, the big ruckman, but Croswell, the highlighter of the final series with his high marking this year. It's a ball to Jezerinko to Gallagher. Gallagher misses the run of the ball, coming through Jezerinko, through a savage of players, and umpire Jolly will play the free kick to Jezerinko. The Canberra kid, the full forward for Carlton, will favour the drop punt. He runs in. Oh, it looks pretty good.
Yes.
There's the sausage roll to Carlton. 4 points to difference.
Sausage roll for the benefit of the uninitiated is a goal. Thanks, Ted.
Got that one in nicely, so did Jezerinko.
A very good clapper person. He was before his time. Before his time.
Right in the teeth of goal and done.
Oh, play it.
Either one or the other. It's going to be Tutton's 3 or Dunn's mark. He's played the mark. Now Dunn, a lot of pressure on him.
Home to the wide world.
Right through the middle. There it is up to McKenna, and he's marked. Now this is the player that Collingwood need to fire.
It's on its way. He's allowed for that breeze, and he's put it right through. That's McKenna's 6th. Strugs it across to Waite. Waite gets it back here, but the ball is knocked away by Max Richardson. Max Richardson of Collingwood picks up and passes over to McKenna. McKenna kicks.
He's missed it. Great play by Max Richardson then.
31.5 minutes gone in this hectic third quarter. The kick out goes. Oh, Wayne Richardson.
West gets a free kick.
In the back.
Stupid darn streamers. He's got to have a shot, but he's a devil of a long way out. He'd be at least 60 yards out. It's a big kick. It's going to drop slightly short and touched, and end of third quarter.
And three-quarter time in the 1970 Grand Final. A magnificent comeback in that quarter from Carlton. Collingwood 13-16-94. Carlton 12-5-77.
Vividly recalling those 2 narrow Grand Final losses to Melbourne and St Kilda, Rose is realistically aware of Carlton's threat.
Collingwood showed at three-quarter time that a lot of them were out on their feet. A couple of players pointed out, said, have a look at them over there. They look like they're stuffed.
I looked across and they seemed tired to me. I really distinctly remember them puffing. Other players looked a bit beaten. I was a bit surprised by that.
I don't think we trained hard enough.
Oh, tell me about it. You don't have to tell me, my friend.
I know Tutty thinks we weren't trained hard enough. At training, it might be a wet, cold, windy night. Bob would say, look at me and say, in. Send me in before the end of training and the others still out there. People used to think I was his pet. I loved it. First into the showers. And
instead of training for 1 hour, I would have trained him for 3. We were never a fit side.
If we had have played any other side bar Collingwood, any other top side bar Collingwood, we wouldn't have got back into it. They were fragile So when we got a run on and when we caught them towards the third quarter, we knew we could win because we knew we could run over them because they are fragile under pressure.
So then Barassi charges onto the ground.
The feeling at three-quarter time was a magic feeling. But I said something and provoked a response from the players, and from that response I just knew we wouldn't be beaten.
And he said, "You blokes are magnificent." Like, he never said that ever. He said, "And I don't care if we don't win now. You fought back, you showed grit."
His closing remarks were, win, lose or draw, I'm proud of you blokes. And we all thought, lose or draw, you've got to be joking, mate.
Gawley was the one who got up and said, no, we're going to win this.
We ordered him off the ground. We just get off the ground. We're going to win this game.
30 minutes to go, and the biggest game, watched by the biggest crowd, is still to witness an enthralling and amazing battle.
Carlton kicking to the scoreboard in the final quarter. Here's a go for Hopkins. Hopkins, oh, no!
Hit the post, Mike.
Hit the post with it.
He was travelling at top pace and under pressure. He has some excuse there.
He still hit the post, Butch.
Yes.
I'm sure you could find a lot of excuses for the kid, but that doesn't put it on the scoreboard. So Lady Luck may be with Collingwood at last in a grand final. Swinging out towards the pocket. Big Glenn Thompson, he's marked. Too big, too strong. He kicks, he's put it through, right through the centre.
It's a handy lead to Collingwood now, Butch.
It's a good lead, Teddy.
Don't forget, Carlton kicked 7 goals in 10.5 minutes in the third quarter. It's not beyond them, you know. Those players are visibly slowing down, Teddy.
Yes, I would think so, Mike. Oh, they would have to.
They must be weary.
Long, hard season, and this the toughest of them all.
Jesselenko a long way out. Couldn't see him kicking this. It's on its way, though. It's right into the goal square. A magnificent kick. They fly. Big John is there. Oh, get
It's a big boy, wasn't he?
Nichols, 12 yards out, directly in front. No misses with him. Right through the centre. They're still in it, boy.
Oh, we're still in the game, Mike.
It's the size of his legs, eh? Far out.
The ball will be thrown in 10 yards from the behind post. Carlton forward pocket. Nichols in the ruck. Nearly out on his feet. He's had a very, very hard final series. Hand pass this time to Walls. It's a goal! It's a goal! No! That wasn't a goal. I'll give a garden party.
Oh, we called him as Rex Hunt, didn't he?
Yeah, Rex Hunt, I think.
I've got a terrible feeling, Teddy, you know.
You think they can come back, Butch?
Yes.
Torpedo punt high. Walls is underneath. Nichols from behind. And Nichols has plucked in another one. 15, 20 yards out of goal. He's the bogey man now. He kicks, steers it right through the middle. 8 points the difference.
He used to kick the dirty old rotten flat punt. It didn't went anywhere, but it went straight.
Collingwood's pace is slowing slightly, and Carlton are going in harder with Silvani right in the thick of the battle.
Nick and Serge, the two oldest blokes, on the ground, they chased and tackled, and all the Pies bloke who were miles younger, they were cramping. They were going down with cramp, so that was a great inspiration.
With players leaping and spoiling, marking is at a premium in and around the goal square. Jesselenko tries a speculator, but it goes across the face of the goal. With his first premiership in sight, Rose is a study of agitated concentration. The speedy Jackson breaks away to send a well-judged pass to Hopkins. Pivoting, he guides the ball through for his fourth goal. One point the difference, but Barassi knows how hard that'll be to get from Collingwood.
That's the assistant coach.
1 point the difference.
Will we be back next week?
Oh, Michael.
What a face.
This could be a draw.
The last half, it's been Carlton coming back from the depths of despair. What a great job all these boys have done. 24 and a half.
Oh, too high. Too high.
Give a free kick. But then you're going to give away a free kick like that.
I knew he was coming in at me. I thought that, Jesus, I'm going to get my head ripped off here. That's pretty much what happened.
You ever chirp him? Did you ever get lippy out there?
Oh, yeah. Plenty of lip.
Was
well with the ball for Carlton. Takes a tremendous sigh. Comes in to put the ball his way with a drop punt. Does so, and it's a goal!
First time they've been in front.
Don't tell me Rosie's going to go down again so closely. What a fight back by the Blues. Our Price of Collingwood steadying down. He's going for the lead from McKenna. McKenna goes up. She's playing it on. Play on. Oh, play on. Oh, it's a call. Up towards centre half forward for Carlton now. Through comes Jesselenko. Jesselenko, a left footer. There's nobody there. Look at this. It's bounced through.
He's gone in between them and gained the ball, thrown it on his left foot. Everyone stopped that had bounced once, bounced twice into the 10-yard square.
It kept bouncing and bouncing and bouncing, and it went through.
Oh, you wouldn't see anything better anywhere in the world, which as far as excitements and highlights and tremendous sportsmen are concerned.
Collingwood across the threshold again. About 3 minutes to go. The Magpies can still win. Dunn has scored the ball.
Directly in front. He kicks. 1 point.
Yeah, that would have hurt. What do they call them? Collywobbles.
Swiggy Dunn, and he blew it. He kicked the point from dead in front, and they were home now.
To see him reach for his shins and look down crestfallen, and in view of all he had to endure during that week, you can see the emotion actually drain from him.
And Collingwood players holding hands to their head as the time's getting away from them now.
Gallagher, there's a silver. Boy, oh boy, comment from Alan Butchgale.
Look, that is the gutsiest performance I have ever seen in my life. And I'm not kidding. But oh boy, what a side can do when they so desperately want to win.
Right, quickly again, the final scoreboard. Collingwood 14-17, 101. Carlton 17-9, 111.
Do you still look back on that? Like, when you watch this back now, does it invoke any emotions or?
Yeah, it did before when the siren went.
Carlton takes the flag for the 10th time in a game which produces the ultimate in Australian football. Sheer determination and all-round brilliance in the final 2 quarters takes Carlton to the premiership. John Nichols proudly displays the VFL Premiership Cup, which Carlton win for the 2nd time in 3 years.
What's the feeling for you? Is it relief? Is it elation?
Just thank God it's over. I'm buggered. When you're up there holding a cup, it's 100 times better than standing there watching your opponent.
To have this feeling of winning against Collingwood, which were arch rivals and so on, well, it's just elation. You can't believe it.
More relief than anything else. That you initially feel is relief that you've won.
That 1970 Grand Final changed the game. Certainly with the handball, the prominence of handball clearly was a signifier of a new order. It was an extraordinary game. Relief, exaltation. If you play football, if you play football at that level, a game takes an enormous amount out of you. The injuries, the tribulations of a whole year, and then you win, and it's a tremendous feeling of, I think, self-justification, a kind of statement of your worth in a way.
To have all of our old, loving, loyal supporters crying, that meant so much.
The best feeling was for the people, your friends, your teammates, your family, you know, the reaction on their faces and how they are is actually the best enjoyment you get out of it.
But what about poor Bob Rose? Bob Rose, who has got Collingwood up there again, who has had the best Collingwood side that they've seen in decades down at the Magpie Oval. They've held the lead, they've been goals in front, and all of a sudden in the 3rd quarter, Carlton have come back, 7 or 8 goals in a row.
Bobby Rose, a magnificent man, great player, great coach, but they weren't tough enough when the crunch came.
The way he consoled his players after the game really just showed what a terrific fellow he was. It would have been horrible for him and
very hard to imagine.
Oh, he took it very hard. I reckon it very hard.
Blew him apart, you know. Like, he was a great player himself, you know. Like, Bobby was a courageous player and a beautiful player. 4 Copelands, king of Collingwood, and, you know, it would have been a pinnacle for him too, you know, like to end his career, be a coach of Collingwood premiership team. it ate his guts, you know, for a long while.
It hurt him. It hurt him badly because we'd also lost in 64, 66 by 1 point. And then he loses after being in front. I think he'd had enough.
Here we are in the Carlton rooms and we're with the Carlton coach, Ron Barassi. Well, I'm the happiest man in the world at the moment, Gerald. I just can't describe it. I think they could have come back from that far down and they looked hopelessly beaten. But I've never seen such heart from the boys. It was just magnificent. One thing we said we must do is handball. And we handball and we handball and we handball and it won us the match. If there's ever a win greater in the history of Carlton than this one, I'd be surprised.
Did Collingwood lose it or did you win it?
That's a good question. Well, personally, I think we won it in the end and won it fairly cleanly.
We lost it. That's it. We were in a position that we should have never lost. We should have just got at it, you know. But unfortunately, we didn't.
Do you think the fact that you can't remember the second half and after the game, does that help the fact that you lost?
In a way, yes, because I cannot remember I honestly can't remember the despair of losing a grand final.
When you walked off the ground, you don't know who won.
No, I cannot remember much about, only what I've seen on the replay of it can I recall. In fact, I remember at one time thinking that we kicked to the opposite end in the third quarter to what I was thinking. So it must have been a very heavy knock. These days, I would have been off the ground. I was told once that the doctor examined me at half-time and said, he's got to go off, and Bob said he's staying on. I don't reckon I've ever got over it. I think about it a lot, of what would have been.
I could understand, I'm feeling empathy for Pete here. I can feel the pain about the fact that he played in finals nearly every year and didn't get to win one.
Yeah, I feel a bit sorry for Collingwood, but I was fortunate enough to play in four grand finals, 3 of them against Collingwood. So it wasn't just Bobby Rose.
They're not a big fan of you.
Some of them reckon it affected their whole lives. Yeah. You know, I know Tomo was like that, and I think Colin Tully, particularly because he was the one that was on Teddy Hopkins, and they kept. People remind people of those things and it never goes away.
I think the way they've carried themselves, Bob Rose, Des Tuddenham, Len Thompson, who was a very good friend of mine, Peter McKenna, Barry Price, Wayne Richardson, how they've carried themselves over the years after going through that. I think they're absolutely magnificent.
Even to be part of this. Even to be
part
of this.
That's an even a compliment. I just think it's a classic.
You don't feel sorry. Unfortunately, we don't feel sorry. You know, I was rung by one of the paper journalists about those boys that played in 1970 and they were distraught. You know, my daughter is married to Lee Adamson's son, and we have a little bit. And he doesn't worry too much outwardly. No point. It just eats inside you if you worry too much about it. You ask us, and we bathe in it because we won. But no one, do you remember who ran second in the Melbourne Cup last year? You know what I mean? No one remembers the runners-up, the losers, the ones who came second. We all jump on the bandwagon of the winner.
As you get older, you become a champion. You know, you're just, immortal, a legend. And you have to take it all in, of course, don't you?
You do?
As being a human, as being very human.
Today I'm 83 years of age and I started here at 17. It's been my life. I'm lucky. The club is always bigger than any individual. When these are gone, when I'm gone, the club will still be here. To me, the club's been my life. I've given a lot. It's been very good to me.
It thrilled a lot of people, and it's still up there today as the marquee grand final thrill. The players themselves, I mean, they're the ones who actually did it. They're the ones who should take the credit. It was just so improbable. We all felt like gods.
Saturday night, big night. Big week.
Who would have been the best on ground on the off-field sort of activities in your team?
Oh, probably a wide field. Percy Jones was always very good.
Yeah.
They had a function back at the Southern Cross.
Southern Cross, yeah.
And then we went back to the social club.
Did Adrian tell you about his driving?
No, please do.
Well, we left the Southern Cross. There was my future wife and Adrian's future wife in the car. We've gone up Russell Street and Adrian, he went through the red light. Next man, wow, get pulled over. Anyway, we're sitting there and I thought, oh, this is going to be good. The girl's still nervous wreck. And the copper gets out and looks at us and looks at Gags, looks at me. He said, you're a person in Gags? I said, yeah. He said, where are you going to? He said, we're going up to Carlton. He said, hop behind us. And they gave us got up to Carlton. Can you imagine doing that?
I can't imagine.
And the girls got out traumatised.
I don't want to hear about the 1970 Grand Final ever again.
You're a champ, mate.
Yeah.